Hello, good morning. This is Dina Rehani, Southside Middle School. Today I'm a student at Florida Southern College EDU 1107. I'm doing my micro teaching assignment. So I did a research about language and cognitive development. My research was basically talking about the development of children started from early childhood and till adulthood. So during early childhood, children acquire language in many stages. Like at age of 3, they acquire about 900 words. But at age of 6, that's when they expand their vocabularies dramatically. It will be about between 8,000 and 14,000 words. Also, I want to share with you guys today Piaget's theory. It's amazing how he separated or how he discovered 4 stages of cognitive development based on his observation to his children and his nephew. Piaget is a psychologist. According to him, children process through a series of 4 critical stages of cognitive development. Each stage is marked by shifts in how children understand the world. Piaget believed that children are like little scientists and that they actively try to explore and make sense of the world around them. And that's what when we see a lot of children are curious and they want to try everything. At some ages, they don't consider if it is dangerous or not. They just want to try things, especially at age of 2. His 4 stages, just like that. The first stage, he called it the sensory motor stage, starting from birth to age of 2, and then a pre-operational stage from 2 to 7, and then concrete operational stage from 7 to 11, and the last stage, which is the formal operational stage, begins in adolescence and expands to adulthood. I'm going to talk about each of these stages and explain what's the meaning of this stage and why he called it in this way. So the sensory motor stage basically or kids during this stage, which is from infants and toddlers, acquire knowledge through sensory experience and manipulating object. It was his observation of his daughter and his nephew, like I said, that heavily influenced his conception of this stage. At this point in development, a children's intelligence consists of their basic motor and sensory exploration of the world. Piaget believed that developing object constancy, which means the understanding that the object continue to exist even when they cannot be seen, was an important element at this point of development. By learning that objects are separate and distinct entities, and they have an existence of their own outside of individual perception, children are then able to begin to attach names and words to objects. The second stage is the pre-operational stage. At this stage, children learn pretend to play, but still struggle with logic and taking the point of view of other people. So they just basically discover things but still they don't lose logic and they don't consider the opinion of the other people. They also often struggle with understanding the ideas of constancy. For example, a researcher took a piece of clay and he just divided into two equal pieces, but he shaped them in a different way. One of them was like a ball. He shaped it like a ball, and the other one just made it like a flat surface. And then he gave these two pieces for one of the kids to choose between these two pieces. So kids usually pick up the flat piece because it looks larger. So they did not use logic that these two pieces is the same size, just different shape. So they judge things based on what they see. And in the third stage, which is the concrete operational stage, that's when cognitive development begin at the kids. They begin to think more logically, but their thinking can also be very rigid, which means very limited. They tend to struggle with abstract and hypothetical concepts. At this point, children also become less selfish and begin to think about how other people might think and feel. So they begin to consider other people around them. Kids in this stage also begin to understand that their thoughts are unique to them and that not everyone else necessarily share their thoughts, feeling, and opinion. So they start to shape their character at this age. And then the last stage is the formal operational stage. In this stage, that's when, or this is basically the final stage of Piaget's theory, that's when kids start to increase logic and the ability to use deductive reasoning and understanding of abstract ideas. At this point, people become capable of seeing multiple potential solutions to problems and think more scientifically about the world around them. And this is my conclusion from Piaget's theory. It is important to note that Piaget did not view children's intellectual development as a quantitative process. That is, kids do not just add more information and knowledge to their existing knowledge as they get older. Instead, Piaget suggested that there is qualitative change in how children think as they gradually process through these 4 stages. At age of 7, children does not just have more information than what they had at age of 2. Actually, there is a fundamental change in how children think about the worlds around them. My question for you guys is, do you believe in this theory? Do you want to add some more things from your observation of your children and your relative, or when you teach, especially elementary teachers, you guys can add some more thing to this theory? Thank you so much. Have a great day.